This topic actually came at the best time possible, due to the newest reveals of cards from BT18. Archetype reboots are a common thing in any card game. Specifically for Digimon, we've seen boss monsters go through countless printings, some more than others. With some of the earliest Digimon ever released in the Digimon card game, Agumon would see substantial printings being the mascot and all. And because of this, BT1 would introduce OG War Greymon. BT2 would introduce Subvariant Shine Greymon and a new War Greymon Black, and BT3 would introduce Blitz Greymon. Come BT4, we would see not just one variant, but three, with Victory Greymon, Shine Greymon, and War Greymon again, but being in yellow this time. The point is, Bandai likes to bring about new support for cards all the time, and while BT4 was a hint at Spirit Evolution from Digimon Frontier, the whole gang would arrive in BT7 with one member even getting a restriction. But after the painful wait, and over 10 sets later, the gang would return for its second wave of support. And boy, are some people upset. When they first revealed hybrid support, I had to ask myself a question. How would Bandai treat the rest of the spirits? Honestly, while they did make Lobomon blue, it realistically made more sense in yellow being the spirit of light, while the spirits of ice and water should be blue. The spirits of wind are interesting, because I might agree with the yellow aspect, but if you were to separate the children across the different colors, we know that red is the spirit of fire, blue the spirit of ice, yellow the spirit of light, purple being the spirit of darkness, which just leaves the spirit of wind and the spirits of thunder between green and black. In my original What If episode, you can watch that old episode in the description below, this video highlighted my reasonings as to why the spirits of wind could be attributed to green, while the spirits of thunder would be black. Most of this was also dominated by the fact that the beast spirit of thunder, Metal Kabuterimon, was found in a factory-like setting with Kokuamon, which, let's be real, should also be a green-black searcher. But when the set finally dropped, I can tell you right now I definitely went through the stages of grief. Why would Bandai do such a thing? And ultimately, once these cards came out in North America, it was just accepting it is what it is. When Bandai first revealed new hybrid support cards in BT17, I already began suspecting more 3-color Digimon in the works here. And boy, I don't think anyone was surprised with the already existing flavor of utilizing the spirits of wind and ice with Takuya, and of course the spirits of thunder and darkness with Koji. The only problem became, how would Bandai implement the colors, and would these Digimon get continued support for their previous printings? Frankly, to some degree, Emperor Greymon being a red-blue-green Digimon was a mild surprise, because the red-blue elements felt that they were nailed for the spirits of fire and ice, but for the spirits of wind, they felt out of place. Because if anything, this hints that the newest variants of Kazemon and Zephyrmon will likely be green. Potentially, this could be that Kumamon gets a red-blue variant to make it more utilizable with Takuya. But what would that mean for Kazemon and Zephyrmon? Are they going to get the same treatment as XVmon and Stingmon from BT16, with dual colors matching their already existing counterparts, but Digivolutions for another? In this case, could Kazemon and Zephyrmon be green and yellow, but Digivolve from, say, red? Ultimately, this is going to be interesting as spoilers release over the course of this next week. But Magna Garurumon was the big shocker to everyone, mainly because BT17 already gave renewed support for Koji and the Spirits of Light, marking them as dual-colored blue and yellow. The only downside, this card is yellow, black, and purple, eliminating any previous connection to its previous lines. For players who love the idea of Magna Garurumon and Blue Hybrid, there is no longer any connection. This isn't the first time Bandai has done anything like this in the Digimon card game. Arguably, the first instance that this would happen would be BT12 in my mind. Because while Imperial Dramon came out of the starter deck with a lot of aggro support, BT12 is when the Pail Dramon and Imperial Dramon support cards would look more into control and source stripping. Red Hybrid would also receive minor flack in that Aldamon was merely a warp by playing a Gunimon and Burning Greymon from the trash under Takuya Kembara. Because again, Aldamon's best printing came from BT7, and this felt like a significant downgrade, especially as a rare. The power creep of this card is honestly interesting, considering the super rare was okay, the BT7 variant was the best one, and well, this one just seemed meh in comparison. But the ultimate faux pas in the Digimon card game ultimately came in BT13 with the Royal Knights. When the set was first announced, players clamored at the idea of new forms for Lord Nightmon and Dynasmon. But upon their reveals, these newer versions had no relation to their previous printings, colors, and nor could you utilize them in the same deck. While it's true that in terms of Greymon cards you could not utilize every War Greymon in the same deck, frankly with the multiple printings of Agumon in red, yellow, and black, and the color crosses you can do, it is actually much more viable now to do so. In regards to other fan favorites like Gabumon and Metal Garurumon, this Digimon only has one issue color crossing right now into black, to get to its Metal Garurumon black variant. Returning to my original point, Magna Garurumon has the oddest color choices, despite being previously blue. And even worse in some ways, it feels less good for the fact that Emperor Greymon actually utilizes elements of each color in its effect. Emperor Greymon, when digivolving, for each color in this Digimon's Digivolution cards, trashes any one Digivolution card of your opponent's Digimon and suspends one of their Digimon. Elements of blue and green respectively. The rest of the effect is largely red-based. But for Magna Garurumon, this Digimon has a when digivolving end of opponent's turn, once per turn effect whereby placing one Digimon card in this Digimon's Digivolution cards to the bottom of the security stack, delete all of your opponent's Digimon with the same level as the placed card. The effect here feels predominantly yellow and purple, mostly due to the level-based requirements for deletion. But in regards to the black element, what is there? There's no reboot, no blocker that you commonly see in revealed cards. Nothing about DP reduction protection either. In many ways, I can see why players are disappointed with Magna Garurumon on an immediate comparison to Emperor Greymon. But as a player, or advocate of the Digimon franchise, what were your initial thoughts with the newest Magna Garurumon in the Digimon card game? Are you at the stage of denial, anger, bargaining, depression, or acceptance in how Bandai treated your favorite Digimon? Ultimately, I do find it peculiar that Bandai has begun addressing the colors of these Digimon, because it seems that after BT7, they are going through a significant backtrack to correct these colors, placing the spirits of light, wind, and thunder into the original colors that I had anticipated. Let me know your thoughts on what other Digimon you've seen get the rough treatment with sequential printings, and I hope you'll tune into my next Digimon Liberator read sometime this week. This is DigiPanda, logging out.